Profile share via email report story. Heya. Welcome smiley face. Just a quick warning. For plot conveniences, Ochako's parents are out of character. Maybe too out of character, but it's for this cringe story. Enjoy. Third paw. Okay, I guess I can tell you guys right now. Ochako said, looking up at the girls. The girls looked back at her, all with surprised faces. Well, what's going on? It seems really serious, Momo said. Ochako took a deep breath in and out. Well, it starts with the reason me and Izuku broke up. Uraraka said. The girls are now all sucked into interest in the story. Ochako explained everything, from breaking every rule they could in middle school, her parents and Izuku starting to have a bad relationship, to getting caught in a weird position in her house. So, yeah, that's the story. My parents want me to stop being friends with Izuku. I'm pretty sure if I get caught with Izuku again, either Izuku or me are going to die. Ochako explained. The girls' drinks finally arrived once the story was done being told. The waiter was secretly listening and everyone knew, but didn't say anything. That's rough, Jiro said, taking a sip from her drink. Sue put a finger on her chin. If Midoriya and your parents don't have a great relationship, you shouldn't be around him anymore, don't you think? Sue asked. Uraraka looked at Suyu. Hey, don't say that. They were just trying to have a little fun. And besides, if her parents would just listen to their point of view, they would still be okay with Midobro. I'm sure of it. Mina waved her hands in the air while staring at Suyu. So, wanna leave? Jiro asked. The girls nodded. They grabbed their drinks and left the small cafe. So, I'm guessing you told us that because you don't want us to mention Midoriya in front of your parents. Momo asked, putting her hand on her cheek. Ochako nodded. If we're staying at my place, then we can't say a word about Izuku. Ochako confirmed. The girls nodded then started having normal conversation. Suyu tapped Uraraka's shoulder, grabbing her attention. Do you ever think Midoriya is bad for you? Suyu questioning Midoriya grabbed all the other girls' attention. Ochako raised a brow then smiled. Trust me, if Izuku was bad for me then I wouldn't be friends with him. Uraraka explained. The girls looked at Asui, confusion written all over their faces. They all brushed it off and continued their previous conversations. They made it to Uraraka's house and went inside. Uraraka's parents greeted Ochako and her friends as they went up to Ochako's room. The girls piled up in Ochako's room as Ochako shut the door. She sat on her bed, sighing. The girls that aren't Ochako sat in a circle on the floor. So, what should we do? Mina asks, laying down on the floor. The girls took some time to think. How about never have I ever? Toru suggested, laying down next to Ashido. Ashido's face lights up. I am so going to lose this game. She happily exclaims. Momo looks at Mina, concerned. Okay, it's decided. Never have I ever it is. Toru said, sitting up. Mina got up and dragged Uraraka down into the circle of friends. But it can't be decided if only one person agrees. Ochako protested. She wanted to play the game too, but also wanted to teach Hagakure how to properly decide over a game for the group. No, we all silently agreed. Mina smirked, shrugging. Uraraka rolled her eyes, knowing that wasn't true. They all decided to play anyways, even though some of them didn't want to. All the girls held up 10 fingers. Who's going first? Jiro asked, looking around the circle. Some of them shrugged while others volunteered. Toru, since you suggested the game. Suyu demanded. Hagakure shrugged. Sure, never have I ever had green hair. Toru targeted Sue. Sue put a finger down, ignoring the fact that she was targeted. Promoted stories. You'll also like My Feelings for You Iswocha short story. 31.2k 587. Ochako Uraraka has been best friends with Izuku Midoriya since their first year at Ua High School. She has also had a crush on him since then, but has never told him. BU. Wedding Bells. 133k 2.6k. 5 years after graduation, Deku and Uraraka are finally getting married. All their friends and relatives are excited and ready to help them to make it the happiest day. My boyfriend Toki. Todoroki X Fem. Deku. 102k 1.8k. Uncompleted never will be God I hate this. Izuku and Todoroki have always been friends, from the time they were youngins to when Bakugo boldly confessed to Izuku aft. Checkmark one-sided. 134k 5.1k. This is a Baku Deku fanfic. Izuku's dream of being a hero changes after he got diagnosed to be quirkless. That dream had become a distant fantasy, but he soon twisted. Proved them wrong. 254k 6.8k. Hard Izuku Midoriya's world comes crumbling down. He's all alone in a world with no one to care for him. He ends up in the streets. When he disappears, his childhood. The Unexpected Bakugo x Uraraka. 184k 6.5k in quad. Most people want to be circled by safety, not by the unexpected. The unexpected can take you out, but the unexpected can also take you over and change your life. P. A Villain's Bright Side Izuku x Ochako. 181k 3.3k in quad. I've never met someone like you, but I'm glad I did in quad. And quad, pray you'll have a quirk in your next life, and take a swan dive off the roof. And quad. And so Izuku D. Next was Mina, since she was next to Toru. Never have I ever. She took a quick look around the circle. Played an instrument, Mina said. Jiro put a finger down. Wait, none of you has ever played an instrument? Jiro questioned, looking at the group who all, except for Suyu who has 9, still have 10 fingers up. All the girls shamefully nodded. Well, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Jiro calmly said. The game continued. As predicted by her herself, Mina went out first. Next was Ochako, then Toru, and so on. Once all was done, the girls continued normal conversation. More specifically, it was about ice cream. But I just really like mochi better, Ochako said, shrugging. Mochi is ice cream, Mina yelled. Ochako smiled, amused. Suddenly, they heard Mrs. Uraraka calling from downstairs for them to come down and eat dinner. They go down and eat, still talking about the difference between mochi and ice cream. The girls take their plates of food and go sit at the table to eat. Mrs. Uraraka, isn't mochi and ice cream basically the same thing? Mina yelled. Mrs. Uraraka only smiled and continued to eat. You said, basically, so therefore, I win, Ochako plainly stated. Mina sighed and stuffed food in her face. Changing the subject, Jiro. I never got to hear more about you and Kaminari, Mina said once she swallowed her food. Jiro stared her dead in the eyes. I don't have to tell you, she said, putting her attention back on her food. Mina smirked at the answer she got. Oh, really? Mina asked, raising a brow. Jiro looked at Mina again, only nodding. Kamiyu on. Tell me, I need juicy gossip, Mina said, leaning on the table. Suyu put a hand on Jiro's shoulder. She won't stop until you tell her, she calmly stated. Jiro sighed. Well, we've kissed and hugged. That's all you're getting, Jiro said, quickly stuffing food in her mouth while blushing. Mina's smirk managed to get bigger. Sure, girl. Anyone else? Momo, Sue, Mina asked, looking around the table. Ochako is praying to whatever god there is for Mina to not call on her. She can tell. Mina forgot everything Ochako told her about what is going on between Midoriya and her parents. Yeah, I feel like that paragraph looks like a first grader wrote it in my defense. I went brain dead law. Mina continues to get juicy details on others' relationships while Ochako's parents quietly listen. Ochako. Mina excitedly calls the girl's name. Ochako begins to nervously sweat. The girls, besides Mina, tries to quietly shut Mina up. Mina, not getting the hint, continues. You and Midoriya, you told us. Whoops. Mina stops what she was saying as she remembers everything Ochako told her. Izuku decided to stay with his mom for the night, since it was a Thursday night and he wanted to be able to stay 4 nights home. After he got done eating dinner, he told his mom good night and went to bed. He was just about to enter the world of dreams when his phone dinged, signaling he received a text. It was from his girlfriend, Kirby. Izuku, I'm so sorry if we never see each other again or if you die tonight. You might not be able to text me or reach out to me in any way ever again. He was confused as he read it. He looks out his bedroom window to look at Ochako's window. The curtains were closed and the boy couldn't make out anything from it. Midoriya scratched his head in confusion and put down his phone. He went back under his covers and went to sleep, brushing off the text as nothing. He thought about going over to the female's house to see if anything is wrong, but decided against it. Ochako can joke like that sometimes. She has almost gave him a heart attack with a text like that once, so he didn't think much of it. The phone slammed onto the ground with a loud crack. It broke in half, never to be repaired. A tear left Ochako's eyes as she watched the phone break. Mr. Uraraka was taken a bit back from his actions, but it quickly got taken over with unexplainable rage. Somewhere in the back of his head, the grown man knew he was overreacting, but he didn't want to admit it. More than anything, he wanted his daughter to stay away from that boy. It angered him the most when she doesn't do what he demands her to do. He wants to make her see that she doesn't actually love the boy. He wants to make himself believe she doesn't actually love the boy. But deep down, he knows but doesn't want to admit, she does. The adult glares daggers at his daughter. I told you to do one thing, young lady, and that was to stay away from that boy. Mr. Uraraka yelled. She glares back at her dad, angry. Why does it matter to you so much? So much as to go and break my phone. What did he do to make you hate him so much? You've known him all his life. Why now do you decide to hate him? Ochako yells through tears. Mr. Uraraka grits his teeth. He's only taking advantage of you. Why can't you see that? He's nothing but trouble and he's not good for you. The grown man yells. He wants to make himself believe that Midori is only taking advantage of his daughter, even though the texts say otherwise. The pack of females stand in the background watching the dad and daughter go back and forth at each other. They want to intervene, but their bodies stay frozen out of fear. You know what? You can't talk to him if you don't even live in the same town as him. Mr. Uraraka has had enough. Enough of his daughter disrespecting him. Enough of his daughter rebelling against him. Enough of the love between his daughter and Midoriya. Mrs. Uraraka gasps. Honey, you don't mean. Mrs. Uraraka's eyes widen. Mr. Uraraka takes a breath in and out. I've had enough of this town's crap anyway. he said, staring at his daughter, watching the color drain from her eyes as she realizes what her father is talking about. What? You can't move away just for that reason. What about your job? This house? Ochako yells. Her father didn't reply to what she was saying. Pack your stuff, we're leaving tomorrow. If you don't, we'll just leave it here. Mr. Uraraka walked out of the room, telling Ochako's friends to go home on his way out. Once Ochako's parents were gone, the girls walked up to Ochako. They all looked at her with worried expressions. Hey, Ochako, it's okay. Suyu couldn't find any way to comfort the shocked girl. Mina stood still next to the chocolate girl. The pink-haired shipper was overfilled with guilt. She couldn't move, couldn't speak, all she could do was stand there. The girls one by one put a hand on Ochako's shoulder. It's all they could do for comfort at the moment. Ochako, I'm sorry, I didn't mean for this to happen. I just forgot everything and was focused on having a little bit of fun. I understand if you don't forgive me. Mina apologized. Ochako looked at Mina. It's okay, I forgive you. I know how you can be sometimes, Mina. Ochako gave Mina a calming smile. After that, the girls helped Ochako pack her stuff for tomorrow. Ochako made a quick walk to the dorms to go and get her stuff from there too. Nothing special happened, just a quick in and out. She ended up having to carry the stuff back to her house. Of course, with the help of the girls. I'm sorry to say this, but Ochako Uraraka is no longer with us. No, she didn't die, she just moved away. Aizawa announced to the class. Izuku's heart sank. Lul lol lul. LQL laughed quite loud. Well, happy to say that the next chapter is the last. I've gotta say, to me, this story was kinda cringe. IDK what it is to you, but hope it's better than my opinion on it. Weird Kid. Where stories live. Discover now.